Hello and welcome. This is Michele Christensen of One Noteworthy Life, and this is a Plan With Me video for September of 2018. I'm going to walk you through how I review the prior month and how I set up for next month. Now, I myself am an avid OneNote fan, and I use OneNote to keep just about everything in my life, big and small, organized and moving forward. I'm also a YouTube creator, I'm a blogger at One Noteworthy Life, and I host the OneNote Bullet Journal Facebook group, which, as of this recording, I'm pleased to say has become the largest OneNote group on Facebook. So yay for us. So I have actually already done my planning process, but I like to film this after it's all done so that I can give you a really concise presentation of the information. I am filming in OneNote for Windows 10, so your version of OneNote may look a little different depending on what device and what version of OneNote you're using. So the very first thing I do when I'm transitioning from month to month is I review my goals that I set for the prior month. So I've split this into 3 pages just to make it more readable for the video, but generally this would be on 1 page. And I write the goals for the month in black, and then I add my comments in some colored text. And the color doesn't really mean anything, except it helps me see what I originally wrote and then what my comments and reflections are. So this first thing I wrote was continue to be forgiving of myself because grief happens on its own time. And my beloved companion dog, Danny, died in early July, which I know might seem like a long time ago now that we're into early September. But, you know, it was a rough couple of months. I'm starting to feel a little better now. But, you know, the grieving process just happens as it happens, and it takes its own form however it wants. So I felt like it was important to remind myself to just, you know, take it easy and be gentle with myself. So my first actual goal for August was a calorie goal. I wanted to have an average calorie deficit of 210 for the day. And I had had quite an eventful 2017. A lot of things just went really haywire, and it was very busy. So I put on some weight, and I'm working on getting back to my healthy body weight. So I like to track my calories, and I've been slowly increasing this deficit each month. It's just something I find that works really well for me. So my goal was 210. I didn't quite hit it. I did get to negative 196. So that's still pretty good. I'm glad that I tried to hit that, but I'm going to go for that again next month, that 210, see how I do. So I have this personal project I'm working on, which has to do with some bonds, and I did make progress. I didn't get as far as I wanted to, but I had a conversation I needed to have and made some progress. So what else? I did want to create 4 videos in August. I didn't quite get there, but I've got lots of things in process. And again, you know, I was just trying to be forgiving of myself for what I couldn't get done. So I've also been working on being more consistent and current with my little daily habits. And these are just little things I try and do every day to kind of keep my life and my house tidy. So things like going through the mail, putting away the clean laundry, that kind of stuff. And I've been really doing well with this, and I'm seeing the results. I feel like these little habits build up over time and really help to keep, you know, my life and my home and, you know, just everything in order. So that's really helpful. So sleep has been a big focus for me this year. My sleep got, you know, very wonky and off track last year in 2017. So this whole year, this has been a focus for me. And one of the things I've been doing is focusing on not using my tablet before bed. I had gotten into a very bad habit of using my tablet, sometimes up to an hour while I was in bed. And that's really bad for your sleep. You can research that on your own. There's a ton of research to support why that's a bad idea. And I noticed even for me that it would give me really busy dreams. So it's not a good habit for me. So I've pretty much gotten to where I want to be on this habit, which is Saturday nights and 2 other days throughout the month. And the reason I pick Saturdays is because I can usually, you know, sleep a little later on Sunday, and it's kind of the middle of the weekend. And I give myself 2 other days just for, you know, for fun. I'm still tracking this because it's been very tempting to backslide. I feel like I'm pretty good on it, but I don't want to let that slip backwards. And I'm not at a point where I feel comfortable just kind of letting it unfold, because I feel like I could slip back on that. My next focus with respect to sleep was to get to bed on time. I wanted to get to bed on time 50% or more of the days. I didn't do that. I got slightly more than a third. But I still feel like I improved because I'm beginning to build the habits that are getting me to bed on time. So I'm learning how to think about things several hours ahead of time so that I can make sure that I get to bed on time and that I'm calm and relaxed when I do go to bed. So I didn't make the actual goal that I had set, but I do feel like I made progress. Okay. The next big goal I had for August, and really this whole year, is to prune my daily setup. So pruning is my theme for 2018. And I felt like I was spending way too much time just sort of corralling all the things I wanted to do and figuring out what all the next steps on all my projects were, and that I just had too many things going on at one time. And that sometimes it would even take me like 20 minutes to just figure out what to do that day. So I'm working on cutting down that amount of time. One of the things I've been doing is focusing on doing things right away. If you're familiar with GTD or Getting Things Done, that's a book and productivity system. They have something in there called the 2-minute rule, which is that when you're processing incoming new items, if it takes less than 2 minutes, you do it right away rather than trying to decide which list to put it on or which project to put it on. I've expanded that to 10 minutes, and I find that really works. Like if I can knock something out in 10 minutes and not have to have it on a list somewhere, I found that really effective. So I've been doing that, as much as I can, just do something right away. And I'm pleased with the results. That's been really helpful. So my next August goal was to have no more than 10 items on my daily to-do list. And on most days I hit this, so I'm pretty pleased with that. And again, it's building that habit. It's like sort of forcing me to think differently, that I can only have 10, so what's it going to be? I wanted to get rid of this running to-do list by the end of the month. I had created this list just sort of randomly, and it didn't really have a proper home or anything in my system. So I got rid of everything, either did it or put the items on there where they belong. So one idea I've had is to think about a more structured daily routine to reduce some of the decision making. Like I'm constantly making decisions all day long about what I should be working on and things like that. So I still really like this idea, but I don't have any concrete ideas I can implement. I like having it right there in my monthly view, though, so that it keeps it top of mind for me. And in fact, just this past month in the Take Note chat, we talked about the concept of decision fatigue and how we make so many decisions on a daily basis that when I can get rid of some of the simpler ones, that's something I want to do. So I am thinking about this, hoping to get some ideas soon. So one final thing I wanted to do is start doing some setup the night before. I found that some mornings I would actually start very slowly because I like to have some quiet time in the morning, and then it would take me a while to figure out what to work on and set up my schedule and stuff. And so by doing a little bit of the setup the night before, it helps me get into action more quickly. So I added the first step of my before bed routine is now check tomorrow, so I can see what's on my schedule. That dictates things like what time I have to get up and what kind of clothes I want to lay out for the day, and if I need to pack, a lunch or something to take with me. It kind of just helps me go to bed and sleep soundly and get up the next day and feel like I'm prepared and ready for the day. So that's been great, having that little step before bed to check my schedule tomorrow. So when I'm doing a review of a prior month, I like to add this section called What Else? And this is just for anything random that came up, good, bad, or indifferent, anything that changed the way the month unfolded, or anything unexpected. So, I'm still missing Danny. It's been hard. We miss having him around the house and stuff like that, but it is what it is. I am planning a vacation, so I'm really excited about that. We've made some decisions already. And then I also sorted out some stuff we had to do with respect to registration and things on the dogs. So, yeah, very happy with that. As I mentioned, my theme for 2018 was pruning. So the idea is to have like less going on overall, less on my plate and that kind of thing. So I like to take a look at how I'm doing with this every month. So one of the thoughts I had during August was that I may be ready to make a blank section that I can just use for months. As it is now, I copy a blank copy of my current daily page. I do that every day because I'm still changing it. But I'm getting pretty close to what I think I might want to use. So I might be ready just to make, a blank section with 30 of them so that I can use it for a month. The problem with that right now, though, is that my daily page holds too much. Some days I just cram so much stuff on there, it gets really congested, and I'm shrinking the text and moving things around, just trying to fit it all on one day. And it's not so much a problem in OneNote as it is, I don't want to work that way. I don't want to look at that, and I don't want to live like that. So I'm not quite sure that I'm ready to jump to a template. I'd like to find something that really forces me to keep things more simple and, fewer things, to focus on for the day. So I also like to look at what I thought I was going to be doing in August when I set up my annual plan. So this was taken right from my annual plan for August. So my business license was due at the end of the month. Got that done, no problem. We had 2 family birthdays to celebrate that. That went great. That was really fun. And I started my vacation plans. So yeah, I feel really happy about that. The last step is, I just want to show you, this is my August calendar. You can see that I don't use this to keep appointments or anything, but I do like to write down something good that happened each day, and that's part of my bedtime routine. So it helps me focus on positive things that happened. It helps me to have concrete evidence that even when I feel like things are going awry, that good things are actually happening. And sometimes I just write down something interesting or noteworthy, but I do really like to focus on having something good written down each day. So that's it for reviewing August. It's now time to set up September. So the first thing I do is look at what I thought I would be working on in September when I set up my annual plan. And September is a very light month for me. We just have 1 family birthday. And when I set up this annual plan, I deliberately kept certain months very lightly scheduled, just because I wanted to have some time to catch up or time to account for things that came up that were unexpected. So yeah, I'm really glad to have a nice light month this month. So September goals. Number 1 is that calorie goal. So I'm going to try and hit that 210 again this month. And I'm seeing results, which is great. My fitness is improving, my weight's improving, my body composition is improving. So I'm really pleased with all of that. For sleep, I want to continue on that same tablet-free bedtime. And I want to continue to focus on my bedtime. So again, my goal is to get into bed 50% or more days. I have that personal project with the bonds, and there's a document I need to create, and then I need to send it to someone, so I'm hoping to get that done as well. The rest of my September goals, I want to continue to prune my daily setup. So I'm going to continue with that focus of doing more things right away. And then I want to think about altering my daily template so that it really can only hold items that pertain to today. Sometimes I get overambitious, or I feel like I have too many important things and I just load them all onto today, and they're just not going to all get done in one day. So I want to maybe create something that's going to force me to think a little more lean about the day, like about what I can get done in a day. So content, 4 videos in September is the goal. I've got those scheduled. And then those daily habits, I want to continue to catch up and continue to be more consistent, because I've really liked the results and how that makes me feel, and that I feel more on top of things and that kind of thing. So I also want to think about how to have more structure and feel more on top of things. So this covers a lot of different areas. So these daily habits, my work, my tasks, my project, my fitness, my recreation, just all these things. Like, I feel like a lot of times I hit maybe 5 out of the 6, but I don't hit all 6. So, I'd like to just kind of have everything feel a little bit more on top of it, and be making progress and feeling satisfied with all of those areas on a regular basis. And then finally, I want to, continue to work on those trip plans so that we can get our vacation in. The last thing I do when I'm setting up a month is to add a calendar. And this is September's calendar. You can see that I've already added in some items because I'm filming this a little ways into September. So yeah, it's already partially filled in. So that's it. I am all set up for September, ready to go. And one thing I want to acknowledge is that this process does take some time. It doesn't take that much time. It takes me maybe an hour or 2, and I usually spread that over, the last few days of the prior month and the first few days of the next month. But it is so, so worth it. It just gives me a sense of like my life has, movement and direction. I'm getting the things done that I want to get done. I'm conscientiously creating goals. I'm reaching those goals for the most part. When I'm not, I'm still making good progress. And when I look back to the beginning of the year and see how far I've come, it's really incredible. Like doing this process in writing gives you concrete evidence that you're either making progress or not. So it has been super helpful, and I feel like I've really made big changes in my life since I've started doing this process. So I just want to encourage you to take some time, give yourself the time if you don't take it, and think about doing this kind of review and setup process for yourself. And if you already do something like this, maybe you want to put a little more thought into it. And if I can support you in any way in doing that, just feel free to reach out and let me know. So that's it. If you like this video, I would love if you'd give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe by hitting the subscribe button. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Bye-bye.